There's a story I heard many years ago that has to do with an African tribe's a ritual, and I'll read you what I have on this. That the birth date of a child's counted not from when they're born, not from when they're conceived, but is counted from the day the child is the thought in the mother's mind. That's the day from which the child was truly conceived, because everything we do is done out of mind. And when the woman decides she's going to have a child, then that fills her, and she goes off and sits under a tree by herself, and she listens until she hears the song of the child that wants to come. And after she's heard that song, she comes back to the man who will be the child's father and teaches it to him. And then when they make love to physically conceive the child, some of the time they sing the song to the child as a way to invite it. And then the mother teaches the song to the midwives and old women of the village, and they listen to it and learn it, so that when the child arrives, the old women and midwives can sing this child the song to welcome it. And then as the child grows up, the other villagers are taught the child's song, and they listen and they listen and they take it in. And then when the child falls down or hurts its knee or someone picks it up, they sing the song to it. A child does some great thing like rites of puberty, as a way of honoring that person, they sing the song. And then through life, through marriage, the songs are sung together. And finally, even when this person's ready to die, all the villagers know his or her song. So when they're lying there ready to die, they sing for the last time the song to that person. So there's something really poignant about that quality of intimacy amongst people, where there's that depth of listening. I think it's a kind of a soul listening to really take in, who is this being? And so in a way, there's kind of two levels of listening to the song. And one level is when we listen to each other and we really sense all the different ways that the other person's joys and sorrows and challenges and humor and particular kind of intelligence come through. It's kind of, we're listening to the expression of that person's soul coming through this particular incarnation. And then on another level, listening to the song, much like the meditation we were doing tonight, we're listening to all the sounds and all the expressions of a being, and sensing behind it really that one spirit that's coming through all of us. It's a way to, that deep listening really brings us to the purity of awareness itself. And I think of this when many of you might have read Hermann Hesse's Siddhartha. I read it a long time ago. And this deep kind of listening, this listening that takes us right into the very essence and openness of awareness itself. There's a really beautiful description in Siddhartha of how he finally, towards the end of his life, comes to the side of a river, and that's where he's just absolutely becomes still and listens. So this is about the power of listening, and I'm going to read you just a little bit from Siddhartha, because it had been so long for me, it was really a treat just to hear it again. Siddhartha listened. He was now listening intently, completely absorbed, quite empty, taking in everything. He had completely learned the art of listening. He had often heard all this before, all these numerous voices in the river, but today they sounded different. They were all interwoven and interlocked, intertwined in 1,000 ways. All the voices, all the goals, all the yearnings, the sorrows, the pleasures, the good and evil, all of them together with the world, all of them together with the stream of events and the music of life. When Siddhartha listened attentively to this river, to this song of 1,000 voices, when he did not bind himself to any one particular voice and absorb himself into it, but heard them all, the unity, and the great song of 1,000 voices consisted of one word: perfection. So this path of listening is a way of deep understanding. When we open wide and just take in how is this world, it's an understanding of reality, of each other, and a way of relaxing back into this essential oneness. And I wanted to explore it tonight in particular because I'm just back from having been on a retreat. I spent 10 days in silence up in New England. And I was really drawn to doing it in a way with this silence to have this opportunity for deep listening presence. So I registered for this retreat 6 months ago and was really looking forward to it. And just time to be, to step out of all the regular demands. I have a lot, I get into this busyness, and rather than listening, I'm trying to get somewhere. And listening means you have to kind of put down all the trying to get anywhere and just open. So really, really looking forward to sitting by the river, so to speak. And I remember, this is just a week and a half ago, getting up the first morning, when I was still half asleep, just coming into awareness. And the first thought that I had in my mind was, uh-oh, I'm in prison. I was in a little cell-like room, and there's no one you can talk to, and it was, and then part of me was saying, wait a minute, I was excited about this. Why am I? Just a second, let me take off a shawl here. What does this come to mind? And but there was this sense of, okay, I'm really stuck. There's no back doors. I'm just stuck with presence. Like now I just have to keep paying attention. It's like none of my normal escape valves were there. And, the ego relies on its trappings, having whatever, whether it's the internet or things to do. And so I was just having to over and over again say, okay, presence, Of course, over the days, it became totally delicious. But it was really interesting to me that was this kind of unconscious, oh my gosh, now I'm stuck with this, But I think it's our predicament, whether we're in a formal meditation sitting or with others relating, that presence or listening to the song really means staying. It really means letting go of all control and being fully available. And we have a really deep conditioning not to do that. Our deepest conditioning is to try to keep controlling our experience, controlling what other people are thinking, controlling to get somewhere, and not to just open and truly take in the life of the moment.